We know that magnetism is governed by five principles of magnetism. And we develop those five principles of magnetism by talking about really our familiar experience with a bar magnet. Because in life, our experience is kind of more often with a bar magnet than it is with anything else. So we have we have talked about that, um, and let's quickly draw this bar magnet. So a bar magnet, as we know it, sort of looks like this. Sometimes it has two different colors for north and south pole. Here's north and here's south, and we know some principles of magnetism. And one of those principles is that there are magnetic field lines around a around a magnet. There are magnetic field lines around a magnet, and I like drawing those like this. They come out of the North Pole and they go into the South Pole. But we also, so they have a direction. We also know that they are continuous, so they go through all the way through the material. We also know that when they're in free space, they like to repel each other, so they get bigger, further away from each other in free space. That's another one of the principles of magnetism, and there it is continuing all the way through. We do know that they go from north to south, so they have direction. We also know that they like to be as small as possible. So they will join each other and then sort of tighten, kind of like an elastic band kind of knot. That's another one of the principles. One of the principles is that they never touch. And this is what it looks like in a bar magnet, is that the magnetic field lines have direction. They go into the South Pole, out of the North Pole. They are continuous. When they're inside the magnet, they go from south to north. When they're outside in free space, they go from north to south. Now, that's very different than another application of magnetism or another kind of configuration that we see in magnetism, where there is a wire, or as we like to say in magnetism, a current carrying conductor. So now I'm going to talk about the lines of force. Lines of force are represented by the symbol phi, and lines of force are called flux. They are flux lines. Lines of force is called flux. And when I'm talking about a current carrying conductor, I'm talking about a wire. And in a wire, one of the big difference is that in this magnet, I have these poles, north and south, but I don't have any poles in a wire. I don't have a north pole and a south pole. So then it's harder to draw our magnetism because we're going to have to really consider, does it have a direction if it doesn't have a north pole to come out of? And that is a very valid question. So um, yes, I'm going to tell you yes, there are magnetic flux lines around a current carrying conductor, and that is a governing principle in most of our electric machines, um, motors, generators, transformers, all sorts of things work because we can we can make forces by moving current in a wire. And if I move current in a wire, it will generate a magnetic field. So that bar magnet had a magnetic field around it because of the principles of its the properties of its material, which we will get into a lot later when we talk about material properties of ferromagnetic materials. However, in this case, I'm taking a ferromagnetic material, which is copper, and I'm putting a current through it. And if I put current through it, I can get magnetic field lines, not unlike a bar magnet just sitting on my desk has magnetic field lines around it. So the key difference is that I have to put current into it. I do have to put that current. When the current is released, the magnetic field collapses. But when the current is flowing, this is what the magnetic field looks like. The magnetic field looks like concentric rings from concentric rings around the current carrying conductor. And as they go further away in space, they get they get um, more and more spaced out. Why? Because of the principles of magnetism, the five principles of magnetism. One of those principles of magnetism is that they don't like each other, they repel one another. They're going to be concentrated near the source of the magnetic field, which is the wire or the current carrying conductor, and they're going to be spaced out because they're repelling each other outside of that. So those are our magnetic flux lines. Yes, they exist in a wire. Now, wires can have all sorts of shapes. And then those magnetic field lines exist all over, all around this wire. And if you've worked with electromagnetism or you've worked with electricity, sometimes you can find, interference and weird things happen. And sometimes the weird things that are happening are because of the fact that you don't just have a wire or a current carrying conductor. You have a wire, and when there is current flowing through it, when there's current flowing through that wire, you actually have forces going on in the free space, in the invisible forces going on, which is pretty cool. Now, I said that they have a direction, and the right hand rule governs the direction of magnetic field lines. Now, there's also a left-hand rule in magnetics, but I'm going to teach you the right-hand rule because when you learn motors, it's easier to know the right-hand rule than the left-hand rule because in motors, they use the right-hand rule. In electromagnetism, they often use the left-hand rule, which does not translate properly to the right-hand rule used in motors. It exactly translates um, opposite and really confuses you. So we are going to learn the right hand rule for a current carrying conductor around a magnetic circuit right now.